So welcome everybody back to BeamNG.Drive, and today we are looking at the manliest of trucks, because this is called a man, and I say trucks, I mean lorries obviously, being from the UK, and yeah, we're basically going to put this through its paces, going to look at it in certain ways, like how much damage it can take, how much damage it can dish out, and all that lot. So yeah, basically for this first part we're going to see how many vehicles can crash into this before it dies. Various weights, and yeah, first one is going to be the pigeon. So yeah, for some reason it is turned round. I do apologise for that. Let's just turn it around first. So yeah, pigeon, obviously it's fairly quick for a car like this, but it is by no means heavy. When it comes to crashing and causing damage, you need mass on your side. This does not have it. It's easily the lightest vehicle well, the standard vehicle, lightest standard vehicle that comes with the game. But as you can see, it is reasonably quick. Yeah, it's not really going to do anything I don't expect, even at the rate of speed it's going. 100 miles an hour, for instance, but yeah, this isn't going to do much. Might break a light or bend a bumper, but yeah, it's going to kill itself more than anything, as you can see. You can have all the speed in the world, but if you weigh only a few hundred pounds, you ain't going to do any damage to anyone but yourself. As you can see, because well, the engine still works, but the drivetrain has snapped, and yeah, you're certainly not going to be steering it anywhere anymore. And yeah, this has been barely phased. I think maybe the license plate has been slightly bent, but yeah, outside of that, nothing. Right, let's see what something slightly heavier can do, like a Corvette, for instance. And they should be able to have the same rate of speed, but obviously it weighs more than the pigeon does, so might well do more damage. But again, I'm expecting it to do more damage to itself than anything else. Come on, get up to 100. Don't be embarrassed by a pigeon of all things. Not a nice crash for the Corvette whatsoever there. Yeah, that's a pretty nasty crash for that car, but the man has got off, yeah, again, really well. It's moved a little bit, but it's not, you know, undrivable, and yeah, it's certainly not taken any real damage, so moving on, let's see what a pessimer can do. So this is going to be probably quicker, but again it is heavier, which is the most important thing. Like I said earlier, you can have a car going 100 miles an hour, but if it weighs nothing, it's going to do way less damage than say a saloon like this that doesn't get up to 100 miles an hour would do. This is going to get up to that kind of speed anyway, so yeah, the damage is going to be probably a little bit better than what we dished out before. Oh yeah, the cab actually looks like it's been slightly disjointed from the chassis there, because that was a high impact crash, so much so that it's actually moved the lorry a fair bit backwards. But yeah, the pessimer has fared off worse there. It's completely dead. Yeah, the cab is looking like it's starting to move forward a fair bit, because cabs generally are cushioned and, you know, sprung to the point, so it's easier for the more comfortable for the driver. But once those springs and all those attachments break, it's goodbye cab, which is why that lorry makes for spectacular crashes at high speeds. Right, now what? A muscle car, I think. Let's go for the blue book. Let's go for the high-end four-door hardtop. Now you're going to see a massive difference in terms of crashability between this and the pessimer. Obviously this is a far older car, designed when crash safety really wasn't all that paramount. see we're going far quicker. Oh, yeah. There's a disadvantage of not having a B-pillar. The roof just goes up and yeah, the doors go away and then everything just crumples forward. Yeah, the steering wheel is in the driver's seat, which is yeah far more dramatic in terms of damage than the previous two vehicles. Obviously it's better than the Pigeon, but then again a carrier bag would be better than that car. But yeah, that's yeah what design has done for cars. It's given us B-pillars and that, but it has punctured the radiator on this lorry, so that is the most significant damage we've had so far on this vehicle. But yeah, bodywork wise, outside of the sagging cab, it's all reasonable. Alright, let's go for a modern version of that Blue Book there with the Grand Marshal. Now this will get up to a high rate of speed, but again it does weigh more. It's just over £4,000, whereas the Blue Book was just under 3,900. A lot of speed, a lot of speed. Oh! The truck actually, well the lorry actually got lifted up. The violence of that crash. So again you can see modern crumple zones, modern body design has made this an infinitely better vehicle to crash into the lorry with than the previous muscle car. I mean it wouldn't be survivable, but more likely to survive with this than that older car. Lorry wise, yeah. The chassis is starting to bow, as you can see. It's looking more like a banana than a lorry at the moment. But it still crucially works, which is the whole point. Yeah, I really do like that lorry. It's really highly detailed, as you will see when we properly crash it. Right, let's go for an off-roader. Go for a real weighty one, so as you can see it weighs £4,729, so a good £700 or so more than the Grand Marshal. Might not get up to the same kind of speeds, but more mass will prove in its favour of whether or not this is going to be the car to kill the lorry or not. Not quite as quick, but it is second quickest, and as you can see that has devastated the lorry there. The driver's door has popped open, which is a sure sign that the bodywork is starting to deform. But it's gotten better off than this SUV, which as you can see has completely failed. The steering wheel is in the driver's chest, or where the driver would be at least. Yeah. Not a very safe vehicle that. Talking to unsafe vehicles, this is it's really showing the strain now of all these crashes. To the point where the bodywork is now hitting the floor, which is not going to help movement, and the chassis continues to bow ever more. Right, let's see what a real heavy vehicle can do, like the van. I'm going to go for the box van. It's not the fastest of vehicles, but again, as you can see, far more in terms of weight at nearly £8,000. So yeah, even if it's not going to be as quick as the previous few vehicles, it should cause more damage. Looking at, we're going to struggle to hit the Pigeon speed here. Yeah. But again, weighs far more than that Pigeon, so it's going to have far more of an impact. What's it going to do? Oh! Yeah, that lifted up the rear of the truck as well, but also the rear of this own vehicle that was impacting it. Yeah, now the passenger side door's opened. yeah, this didn't get off well, but neither did the lorry, as you can see. Yeah, it's really looking like a sad state right now. That's the exhaust that has fallen off as well by the looks of things, or something. No, that actually looks like bodywork, not the exhaust. But yeah, damage wise, yeah, it's pretty catastrophic at the moment. So let's put it out of its misery. Let's see what Lorry versus Lorry can do. But this time it's not going to be a European one, it's going to be a US version. So let's get the ram plow version out. We'll take the ram plow off to make it fair, but it is going to be fast. So yeah, just take the ram plow off because it wouldn't be fair to have that on. But it does have all the speed and it does have nitro, so that's going to be advantageous in terms of speed. But obviously it's also going to be advantageous in terms of putting that speed behind this mass that is going headlong at more than 100 miles an hour towards a lorry that is not going to survive this, I do not think. It's going to be devastating. Oh! The whole cab compressed and went down, so much so it went clip through the wheels. This hasn't got off lightly, but yeah, neither has this. The fuel tanks came off and it got forced so violently into the wall that the wheel has come off. Partially my fault because I think I didn't put it on brake or park, but either way I think this would not have been able to survive that. Either way, so yeah, it's a really rather tough truck, this, well, lorry this, as you can see, and yeah, it's easily one of the best mods that is on this game, just in terms of high details, as well as other things that we'll show you now. As you can see, it's also got plenty of variants to it. So yeah, you've got versions of the one that we just took out, along with a cargo box. You've got a high-end version, and then you've got cement mixers, ones with more wheels, a dumper version, you've got off-road versions, you've got ones with cranes on it, and all sorts. So yeah, it's a really rather high-detailed, plenty of different versions with this mod. So yeah, right now we're going to crash into things instead of having things crash into us. So let's see what it can do with some of the static objects that are on this game. And we're going to give it an easy ride for the first part, see what it can do against a trailer. Obviously these do not weigh all that much, but it is a sizable object nonetheless. And side on should prove damaging because obviously we're going to be hitting the chassis, which is the strongest part of this, even if overall it's hardly the strongest of vehicles. So yeah, being the one with minimal on the rear end, this is probably the fastest version of this truck. But when it comes to the, you know, massive crashes, it's also the least spectacular because you've got less to observe coming apart, which is where this really hits home. Well, the trailer has not survived whatsoever, which was a given really. There goes the toilet and the bathroom entirely. Stop. Actually sat on some of the bodywork, which did not help in terms of braking. But yeah, damage wise, got away with that fairly reasonably. Doors are slightly on the verge of popping out, and there was some roof damage and glass damage, but yeah, came off well there. Right, let's see what it can do against something that doesn't have wheels, and see what cinder blocks can do. Now, if you'd have seen that Top Gear episode where they were around in lorries, then you will have seen Jeremy Clarkson do the same thing as I'm doing now, which, to be honest, I wouldn't even do in real life like he did. Never mind intentionally on, well, unintentionally on this game, but intentionally we're going to do it now to see what happens. But normally I would not put a vehicle through this kind of thing because the cinder blocks aren't the lightest of things, but neither is this truck, so it's going to be a case of the immovable object and the unstoppable force. Ow! Yeah, the immovable object came off well. Came off far better than this. Yeah, that is devastating. Just saw the whole cab just sag backwards when it hit. Luckily it did rebound to the point where it didn't get ripped off, but yeah, you can see why they put that kind of mesh on the windscreen for Clarkson's impact, because otherwise that probably would have happened. So yeah, that's devastating. Right, let's see what a concrete retaining wall can do. Now these things are huge and really heavy, so I do not think it's going to come off well here. But it is the last real big object on this game for this part of the episode. So let's see what happens. I don't think the truck's going to be running after this, to be honest, because we're hardly going to be going slow, and yeah, my experience with the concrete retaining wall is that it is pretty much impossible to get past. You may well knock it down, but you will not get past where it was. And this is a lot taller than the cinder blocks as well. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty much just stopped dead in its tracks. Went from 86 miles an hour to 16. Yeah, that would be a lot of G-forces for you to take if you hit that. Even if you survive the initial crash, G-forces alone would be really rather devastating. But it still works. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I was expecting the bodywork to deform so much along with the chassis that it would not be able to move, but yeah, it took that really well, far better than I was expecting, to be honest. Right, let's get onto another map and see what this truck can do when faced with the car jump arena, which is, yeah, really rather devastating. Now the engine will probably blow before we even get to the end of the ramp. It's just the way this game works in terms of over revving an engine far past the point that it was ever supposed to be. But yeah, should prove, I'm sorry, it seems to have crashed a little bit here. There we go. But yeah, it should prove really rather devastating, and it should hopefully show off how much detail is in the lorry when it comes to the sheer amount of parts that are on there. So we're going to go with a cement truck to start with. We'll go for a big one. Where's the most amount of wheels? That's off-road, so I don't think that's going to be useful for on-road. Is there an on-road version with this amount of wheels? Yeah. Yes. That one. Right. Let's see what happens. Now, granted, the standard lorry that you get in this game has a cement mixer version, and that has a fair amount of detail on it as well, but this, for my money, has even more, as you now shall see. So yeah, the engine is going to blow, as you can see. We're over revving, valve train damage. There it goes. It's just the usual kind of thing for this kind of game. Oh, so we've lost the rear end of everything. The fuel tank has been punctured, and now we're headlong into a wall. Oh. Yeah, that didn't go well. Didn't show off quite as much as the damage that I was expecting, to be honest, because we've only really lost a wheel or two. So yeah, I was expecting more damage from that. But yeah, there's not much left of this, granted. So let's see what a different version can do. Or we'll try and go off at a different angle. I think we'll go for a dumper truck. With a crane. Yeah, is there an on-road version with the crane? Just looking. Don't think there is. We'll just go for the I don't even know if there's an on-road version with the dumper truck. Though, to be fair, it would. Yeah, there we go. There it is. Found it. On-road dumper truck with the crane. which again will show off some detail hopefully. And that crane actually works, by the way, which you can see by all the buttons on the right hand side. Not that I've tried because I'm useless with complicated machinery. I think we're going a little bit quicker than we were before, so let's go off at an angle. And roll. See, we've already lost a door. Bent the chassis. And we're losing parts of the dumper truck bit at the back. There goes a wheel guard. More random parts. Fuel tank has gone. The engine is now broken. I'm surprised it survived as long as it did. Cab is very nearly on the verge of coming off. And we're going to hit the pole. Oh! See, the good thing about this mod is how stable it is despite all of the parts and things you can do with it. It's like that crane. I fully expected when I first tried devastating this vehicle that was going to flop about and fly the vehicle around and everything, but it just hasn't. And yeah, it's really stable mod. So yeah, a devastating crash there, and yeah, I really do like this mod. If you haven't got it already, then get it. I think it's on the repository of the game, or at least on the forums. So yeah, get it out there and get it and try it and crash into as many things as possible, because it is a really fun vehicle to crash and drive around. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.